All right, we should be recording now. So were you guys able to read the case study?
Yes.
Yeah.
Google's quest to build the perfect team.
Yeah. And I guess to start off, I don't really know you guys at all. My name is Kyle. I live in Utah, St. George, Utah. I have one kid who's 19 months. And yeah, hopefully I can finish in 2020. That's the goal, to graduate in 2020. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I can go. So I'm Lexi. I live in Virginia. My husband's in his first year of medical school. So basically I'm a single mom, it feels like.
Yeah.
This is Delilah. Sorry, she just woke up from her nap. I was hoping she'd stay asleep, but we can have her here or she can scream. So
Yeah.
I apologize.
No worries.
And then I'm graduating in April. Sorry.
All right, that's exciting.
I'm Kendra. I'm from Reno, Nevada, but I'm currently up in Rexburg, just on track taking classes. I still have 2 years left before I graduate, so a little bit of time, but
it'll come.
Going good.
I know, it's a long process.
It is.
It does go by faster than it should, though. It feels very quick so far, so hopefully that just kind of continues.
Yeah. I know, I just have to be consistent, which I haven't really been, so it's taken me a long time. But
yeah, I started in 2011, so going on 10 years over here. So
yeah. All right. So for the questions, the first question is from your personal experience. What have been key behaviors in effective teams? So I guess something for me, I haven't worked in a ton of teams. Some for me, effective teams, you feel like your opinion matters and people, your group makes you feel smart, you know, and they make you feel like what you say has merit and like they want to use what you say and use that as part of the project that you're working on. For me, that's the biggest thing, is that you feel needed as part of the group.
I think something that has helped me in groups is like honest communication. Like I've worked in teams where like people haven't had open communication and like it's caused a lot of internal issues in the workplace. And so teams that were successful were ones that you could openly communicate, whether it was a concern that you had or an idea you had, or if somebody else did, and we all kind of collaborated and understood each other.
I agree. I think going along with those, also feeling comfortable kind of ties the two together as well. I've noticed when I'm in groups where there's very much a competitive mentality rather than succeeding like as a unit, that comfortable factor kind of leaves and people feel less safe to share their opinions or ideas.
Right. Yeah, and I agree. I think that is the main thing. They even talked about in the case study that that's the biggest part, is just everyone feeling included and feeling a part of it, and having that communication. Okay, what do group norms have? Okay, sorry, I can't read. What do group norms have to do with effective team building? What would you say our current group norms include? Are they healthy group norms? If not, what could be changed? I think we're still pretty new, so I'm not sure what our norms are, if we have any norms at the moment. What do you guys think?
I'm not quite sure, sorry.
Aren't the group norms just pretty much the culture and the habits of the group?
Yeah.
I would feel, yeah, it takes time to establish.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, still pretty early on. So.
I know I don't think we met last week. I wasn't here if we did. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't. Sorry, I've had a hard time knowing like when we're meeting and all that. So I apologize on my part.
No worries. It's so confusing, honestly. I'm in another business class online right now, and we use what is it? We use Zoom instead of Google Hangouts. So I'm like trying to the learning curve for both is like happening at once. So I totally understand. No worries.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
and I just forget about the meeting sometimes. Like last week, I didn't remember that we had a meeting till Thursday night,
Mhm.
and obviously that was too late at that time. So
Yeah. I'm on East Coast time, and so I always get like I grew up in Idaho, and so it's really new to be on East Coast time. So I get so mixed up all the time, all the time. So I
yeah,
always think about it either too early or too late. So
yeah, that would be tough. That's why it's nice living in Mountain Time, where all the due dates are. I don't have to worry about changing anything for the due dates.
I do feel like I get like a two extra hours to do assignments though, because I'm like, oh, it's due at 2 a.m., not midnight. So I've got some extra time.
Yeah,
That's the only nice thing.
yeah. All right. How does psychological safety in a team increase overall effectiveness? What are the roles of communication and empathy in creating psychological safety? Do you guys understand what psychological safety is? That was one thing I was kind of unsure about. Like, I read it, but I wasn't 100% sure if I was understanding what it meant.
So here it says psychological safety is a sense of confidence that the team will not embarrass, reject, or punish someone for speaking up. It describes a team climate characterized by interpersonal trust and mutual respect in which people are comfortable being themselves. So I guess just knowing basically you won't be embarrassed or harassed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like comfortable being yourself. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So how does that play a role um, in increasing overall effectiveness as a team?
I think that when you feel like you're in a safe place, then you're able to be really productive because you're not distracted by other things. Like um, I worked retail, and there was this older woman, and she would like follow me around, like punching me like in the arm. And like when I would ask her to stop, she'd like call me a baby and like, do you want me to call your parents because you're a baby? But like I would have bruises like on my arm from this crazy woman like punching me. And it was really stressful, and I didn't like feel safe. And like if I did complain, like my boss would embarrass me in front of everybody, like, look at the little baby asking not to be hit by the old lady. And so like there was a lot of things that didn't get done or I didn't feel like I could do because I was in a situation like that.
Yeah. I was gonna say psychological safety, yeah, it goes along with just if you don't feel safe or comfortable, you're not gonna raise concerns, right? There's not gonna be any real discussions happening. I feel very fortunate where I work when I go back home during the summer. It's a warehouse, and the climate is so positive. I love working there, and we can do things like that. We can talk to management, we can talk to each other, as coworkers, and it always feels very productive, and I think that feeling psychologically safe and just knowing you can bring up concerns and, feelings, I think that's really important.
That's awesome.
And how does communication and empathy, what is that role in creating psychological safety?
Well, I think it's
Um,
important. Oh, sorry, you can go ahead.
oh yeah, I was just gonna say um, that having empathy, like understanding how people feel, like if people feel understood, then they um, feel safer, I guess. If like you, with your experience, if you feel like people understood how you felt, you'd feel more comfortable um, bringing up that concern because you know they do something about it because they actually understand how you feel. So I think that's the role of empathy and communication. I think is important. in a lot of situations to gain empathy.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think it's important for like the whole team to have empathy, not just like maybe a manager, but like each team member needs to be empathetic to like what the like management's going through or what everybody else is going through. Right.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think you see it all the time where the people who aren't in management are always complaining about how tough their job is and whatnot, and just complaining about the management, not realizing the struggles that the managers have to go through as well. So yeah, I think having empathy on both sides can really help build that um, psychological safety in a way.
That's an interesting point to bring up. I never thought of it going both ways until we brought that up. It's because it does, like amongst each other. And then, like you said, everyone talks very negatively about those people in higher up positions, maybe. And it's also important for those in manager positions to feel comfortable bringing concerns the other way around to those that work for them or under them, and just knowing that communication all around, everyone has this mutual respect for each other and can trust each other.
I agree.
All right. How does sharing personal experience and being vulnerable influence team dynamics? Do you have any personal examples of this in organizations you are involved in? So I feel like I'm not really involved in any organizations, and I really can't think of a specific situation where um, sharing personal experiences has influenced a team that I've been a part of. For the most part, I feel like it's been mostly focused on whatever the team was for. If it was a sports team or work team, it was mostly focused on that end goal. And I can't really think of a whole lot of personal experiences being shared. Do you guys have any experiences with that?
So I worked as a manager for a student complex and a married complex in Rexburg. And I was able to bring like personal experiences from when I was like a student living in single housing, like to bring perspective to like the team. And it's really hard because, you're keeping track of like 300 plus students. And everybody's individual and has individual needs. And obviously it's not easy living with a bunch of different people. And so there was constantly conflicts and different things going on that us management had to deal with. And so like we would all bring in our personal experiences or past experiences as managers in other positions that helped us figure out how to work as a team and like find the best solution for things that would come up. So that's not like super specific, but it did help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I before I came up here for school, I was working in a college and career center at the university in my town, and I was doing that for a few months, and someone else came in, so I was more so training them. I wasn't really managing them, but so what I noticed was that as we got to know each other better, and we would kind of talk to who was even above me, communication just flourished, and it was really beneficial to our dynamic because we felt like we could depend on each other, and if someone um, like having a rough week with their workload, or if they needed help in a certain area, we all felt comfortable enough with each other to like let me help you pick up some of that work, or let me tell you what you can do to improve. So I think just being able to be vulnerable with each other and admit when we're having difficulties or if we need help, or asking for them to point out improvements we could make, that helped us a lot work together.
Okay, awesome. Okay. And what can you do as an individual to initiate effective team behavior?
Sorry, can you repeat that? Like the end kind of went out for me.
Yeah, what can you do as an individual to initiate effective team behavior?
I think the first thing you should do is be a teammate. If you want to have expectations of other people to be a teammate, then you have to be a teammate. And I think that people follow others' examples. there's probably always that one person that will fight, like against what you should be doing. But I feel like if one person is really trying, then like people will follow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. That's kind of what I was thinking too, is you have to be that person. You have to open up, even though maybe you don't feel like it. Like you don't feel like as safe. You have to open up and trust people, and hope that they respond in a way that is appropriate, and hopefully they can feel like they can open up and be vulnerable as well, as a result of you kind of setting that example and showing them the kind of attention and respect that you hope that they would show to yourself and the rest of the team. So that's good, just being that example.
I agree. I also feel like sometimes it feels as though talking about your personal life or personal experiences could come across as unprofessional in the workplace. Like we need to be focusing on the work and reaching these goals. So I think just knowing that impact that you could have on a teammate, listening to them or sharing your story and creating that safe space and letting them know they're valued on a more personal level helps. So just not being scared to take the time to do that, like how we introduced ourselves to each other. And we tried to do something similar in my other group, just kind of not super casual, like still focusing on the assignment, but just creating that bond.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I don't think it's bad to be casual, but at the same time, I think it's important to stay focused on what the goal is, because it's like the purpose of the meeting. So I agree, trying to incorporate both without going too far on either extreme. Do you guys have anything else you want to discuss about the what we read, or any last comments at all? So I do have one question. It's not related to the reading, but do you guys know if we're supposed to submit the link for the for this meeting, and where we're supposed to submit it if we are?
I am not sure. I can look on iLearn.
Because I know usually it says like send it to your instructor or whatnot, but I have not found anything on that. I feel like it always takes me a few weeks to figure out how to navigate each class every new semester. So
I go through that too, and just everything's online for me, and so I always get like the classes mixed up. Like, oh, I was supposed to do that for this one, and
yeah, me too.
So I think in the What Google Learned activity, the instructions, near the bottom, it talks about for the group leader, it says to post the URL to the discussion board.
Oh,
and
okay.
then on the next page, there's, what's it called? Is
it the lesson for reading discussion or a different one?
That's what confuses me too. I think it's the one that's What Google Learned activity. That thread has no post to it. I think that's like supposed to be our, I think, but yeah, especially in this class, I always get confused between the reading discussion and then the case study group discussion. But I think
there we go. And then, okay,
so it's just post to the discussion board for the case study.
Yeah, the lesson for What Google Learned. Yeah.
Is it, let's see. Looking at the, oh yeah. I was looking at the group discussion agenda, see if there's anything there. Oh, remember to send a link to the recording to your group members. Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't help. All right. Well, you're probably right.
Thanks.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that if we are supposed to post that.
Yeah, probably just in the lesson for What Google Learned activity.
Okay.
Just post it there. So
Yeah.
the professor knows. I don't know. I have emailed this professor 5+ times and I have not gotten one response. So I don't know what the deal is, but hopefully we can figure that out. I would just post it there, and then if there's any question, they know it's there, you know, that it was.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, hopefully. That's what I'll do. And if there's any problems, then I guess we'll figure it out as they come up.
Yeah. Do you want me to lead the discussion next week?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Okay. So does this time usually work for you guys? Or I know that I can send an email out to everybody else, but is one usually a good time? Or is it day to day?
Yeah, one works for me.
Yeah, one is good.
Okay. I will go ahead and I'll email everybody else maybe like Saturday or Sunday, just to make sure that Sunday still work. I mean, 1 o'clock still works for next Thursday. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
All right.
And then I'm not sure. I know like Joseph is in our group, but I haven't heard anything from him. I don't know how to contact him. So
Yeah. He I think he is in Africa.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't know how, like, what the.
Maybe he could like once we put the link in the discussion board, he could comment because they're like 8 hours I think ahead, or I don't know, quite a bit. So, and I'm sure the professor would be understanding of that, and then we could comment back to him. Like, yeah, because I think it'd be really hard to facilitate a time that would work with such a large time difference.
Right.
But yeah, I would just, I mean, and I can I'll try to email the professor again and just ask, like, do you have access to like a phone number for him, or, you know, an email? Because I don't know how to find our group members' emails sometimes. It's you know.
Yeah.
If you go to the BYU I email and type in their name, it'll come up.
Oh, okay. That's good
As
to
long
know.
as long as you know what their names are, you can just type in, and that's their BYU I email.
Right.
Which sometimes I don't check very often. So
yeah. Well, it's weird because mine, I'll go to my inbox and it doesn't show any new emails. Like I didn't see the email for this. I had to search your name and then it came up. So there's something weird about my emails. Maybe the same thing's happening to him or something.
Yeah, that's possible.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I think we're good, so we can go ahead and end. I know it says we're supposed to go for an hour, but I think we're good. Being a little bit early.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Thanks for being understanding of my daughter.
Yeah, no, that's totally fine. That's usually me. Usually my son's screaming in the background. So.
Yeah. All right. It was nice to see you guys. You know your faces.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming to the meeting.
Yep. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
All right. So 1 o'clock on Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.